a popular city park where families gather, children play, and where 19-year-old Bridget Shiel was shot 7 times while running for her life.
Rage, absolutely, rage.
Was someone trying to send a message?
Somebody hated her and wanted her dead.
Or did a little secret life lead to her death?
Were Bridget's friends aware?
Had no idea.
Plus, speaking about the case for the first time outside of an interrogation room.
Did the police say that you were a suspect?
Yeah, they said I was the #1 suspect.
A Crime Watch Daily exclusive with the man some people believe may know more than he's letting on.
Was there a person she was scared of?
It was just before 7 a.m. when they found her naked body. Not the people, but the strays.
Were the dogs eating her body?
There's no reports that they were, but they were definitely circling her body. So that's pretty sad.
A man walking through the park shooed the dogs away a short time later. And soon after that, Atlanta homicide detectives swarmed the area. But with no personal effects found on or around the victim, they have little to go on. That is, other than her wounds.
There's indications based on the autopsy that some of those shots came from a straight down angle, which tells me she was on the ground, already likely dead, but someone's still standing over her and firing. It was overkill.
Especially when you consider the type of bullets used to end her life, designed to fragment out on impact as shown in this video from the manufacturer. They're called radically invasive projectiles, aka RIP bullets.
The fact that these bullets were used, do you think a message was being sent?
We were told that the people who use those types of bullets are definitely sending a message. The average Joe on the street would not use those in a crime. And the way she was found with no clothes is also a reason that some said there was definitely a message being sent.
So then what was that message? And just who was the young girl met with such a violent end? Only 19 when she died, Bridget Shiel grew up in Washington, D.C., raised mostly by her grandparents, Jim and Beverly Toole.
She was a live wire, full of energy, full of life, so much fun to be around. And she was very dramatic. If the sun was shining, she wouldn't say the sun is shining, she'd say, look at the day.
But even at a young age, she had her demons. A dad she never knew, and a mom she rarely saw.
She got sadder as she got older. She did have low self-esteem, and she was teased unmercifully because of her size. Her first year of high school was honor roll, and then she started skipping school. She was making such bad life choices, hanging out with the wrong people, she was making her life dangerous, and it scared us.
So when Bridget decided that she wanted to go live with her mom over 600 miles away in Atlanta, Beverly agreed.
I thought it would give her a new chance.
And it seemed to. In Atlanta, Bridget appeared to shed her low self-esteem, becoming a model and pursuing a career in the limelight.
I mean, Atlanta's the new Hollywood of the South. It's the new Motown. I mean, there's a rap studio on every corner here in Atlanta. So I think she was attracted to what Atlanta had to offer, someone trying to go on to bigger and better things.
She really wanted to find a way to be the center of attention for the whole nation, if not the world.
But apparently, there was some pretty dark shadows surrounding that spotlight.
I actually did a simple Google search, and it pulled up several Backpage ads. And of course, Backpages is usually used for people presenting themselves as escorts or charging for services, let's just say. And there were several ads that had pictures of Bridget in less than full clothing, presenting herself as an escort.
Ads posted under the names Nastia and Spice. They read in part, I make every encounter special. And I aim to please in the most desirable ways.
Were Bridget's friends aware of her Backpage dealings?
Had no idea. And was she living out a fantasy, a dream? We don't know. She can't tell us.
But Bridget's grandma says she doesn't think Bridget was doing it on her own free will.
I thought that her boyfriend must have gotten her to do that. I wouldn't be surprised at all that he hadn't talked her into doing that.
The boyfriend she's talking about is Kevin Kinnie, and friends apparently had a lot to say about him.
He was older, spent some time in and out of jail, and there were claims from friends in the community, from others, that he was perhaps part of an underground organization.
A gang?
A gang. We had a couple of police reports that perhaps their relationship was very volatile.
In fact, just a few months before Bridget was murdered, she made this call to 911.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
I just need to place a restraining order on somebody.
Were you assaulted in any way?
Yes.
And who is this person to you?
He was my boyfriend.
Okay, hold on.
I don't want you guys to go to his house because he said
They're
if I
not
call
going there,
police,
ma'am.
he's going to kill me.
Bridget goes on to tell police Kevin hit her in the face, but ultimately, she declined to press charges. Then, just 2 days later, police would return to the home, not for Kenny, but for Bridget, who was fighting with another woman. Kenny's other woman, to be exact.
This is some love triangle going on here.
Yes, Jerry Springer type love triangle.
Turns out, before her death, Bridget was living with Kevin and the mother of his child, Brittany Alaka.
So you had Bridget, Kevin, and this young lady, Brittany, all living under the same roof.
Was that the source of the acrimony and the domestic disputes?
You could only assume it was. I mean, there's no way you can live with your current girlfriend and live with your child's mother and there not be some type of friction between all parties involved. It's impossible.
In fact, CBS 46 Atlanta reporter Karen Greer says she spoke to a friend of Bridget's who wished to remain anonymous, but who said there may have been one very big source of friction in particular.
She told me she was pregnant. And I was not happy to hear that.
The friend said that, Bridget was very afraid, and she told me Bridget didn't even want to tell Kevin she was pregnant.
And that was reportedly just a few weeks before her death. Coming up,
At around 11:30, she's seen at a Shell gas station with two black males.
breaking down Bridget Shiel's last hours alive, and an exclusive interview with Bridget's ex-boyfriend, Kevin Kinnie.
But there's a 911 call of Bridget saying that you hit her.
So this is real.
Call 911.
She really called. She really
This
called
is
and
not
said
fantasy.
this?
She called the cops. I mean, seriously, you don't know this.